Namaste students. Today my topic is income determination and multiplier. As you know, in the previous chapter, what is the meaning of aggregate demand and the aggregate supply. But here I am telling you what is the meaning of aggregate demand. Aggregate demand is the demand for goods and services in the economy during the year. And what is the meaning of aggregate supply? Aggregate supply means production of goods and services in the economy during the year. Now, Keynesian says that the equilibrium is only when aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. The equilibrium level of income is only when aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. Now, who will do the demand and who will do the supply? Here, aggregate demand is done by the household sector and producer sector. The demand done by the household sector is called the consumption, and the demand is done by the producer sector, that is known as investment. This is our first equation. Second equation is aggregate supply. Aggregate supply is C plus S. C plus S means we can consume our income or we can save our income. So this is our second equation. Now Keynes says that when aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, it means if left hand side is equal, then right hand side is also equal, that is equal to C plus I is equal to C plus S. I is equal to S. It means equilibrium is done when saving is equal to investment also. So equilibrium can be done through aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply and saving is equal to investment. Here we are taking two approaches where aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply and saving is equal to investment. As you know, macroeconomics is based on some assumptions. Same like this equilibrium is also based on some assumption. The first assumption is, here we are talking about only two sector model. Here we are talking about two sector model. Two sector model means here we are taking household sector and the producer sector. Second assumption is price remaining constant. And third is we are taking here autonomous consumption. Autonomous consumption is that consumption which is not depend on the level of income. It will be constant. So on the basis of all these assumptions, we have to apply the aggregate demand, aggregate supply approach, and the saving is equal to investment. Now I am showing all these things with a table. First we are taking aggregate demand and the aggregate supply approach. Aggregate demand and aggregate supply approach. Aggregate demand, already I told you, it is done by the household sector or the producer sector. And aggregate supply, it means producer, how much goods are produced by the producer sector. That is called aggregate supply. We can explain this by the table or a schedule. We are making here in first column we are writing here employment, in second column income, then consumption, then saving, then investment, then aggregate demand, aggregate supply, and in last column we are writing here remains. Suppose income is 0. Income is 0, then employment 0. There is some amount of consumption. We are taking here 40. Now employment is increased continuously as income is also increased continuously. Now consumption is increased at a constant rate. That constant rate is consumption is increased from 40 to 120, then 200, then 280, then 360, then 440, and after that it will be a 520. After that it will be a 520. It means saving is here minus 40, minus 20, 0, 20, 40, 60 and 80. Here we are talking about the investment. That investment we are consider is a autonomous investment which is constant, and we are taking here 40. Now aggregate demand, already know the component of aggregate demand is C plus I. It means adding the both the columns C plus I, that is 80, 160, 240, 320, 400, then 480 and 560. After that aggregate supply is equal to 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 and 600. See here, income is equal to aggregate supply. Income is equal to aggregate supply because whenever producer produce the goods, he is using the some factor of production, and whatever he has to pay for the factor of production, that is called the income. So that income is equal to aggregate supply. Now see last two columns. Here aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply. Again see aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply. Here also aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply. Aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply. Here both are equal, and here aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply. Here is same condition. Now see in this table, in initial stage when income is 0, aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply. If aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply, it means producer plan less amount as compared to consumer want to buy. So that after that producer increase the supply. Here the gap is reduced from 80 to 60. Now producer plan more output in a future. Producer plan more output in a future, and this process will be continue up to when aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. At this level, aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. This is our income level. At this income level, aggregate demand and aggregate supply both are equal. Now see, it is not necessary that it is a full employment equilibrium level. Full employment equilibrium level means there is no excess capacity in the economy. Full employment means there is no excess capacity in the economy. If there is excess capacity in the economy, then the employment is increased. So this is not called a full employment equilibrium. This is called the underemployment equilibrium. Keynes says that it is not necessary that this equilibrium level is always on the full employment level. It may be underemployment level, it may be full employment level, and it may be over unemployment level. This can be happen in different situation: full employment, underemployment, and the overemployment. Now this schedule we have to present with this diagram. On OX axis we have to show the income or employment. On OY axis we have to show aggregate demand and aggregate supply. As you know, aggregate supply and income both are equal. And this is a 90-degree angle. If we convert this 90-degree angle into two equal parts, because income is equal to aggregate supply, so that we have to derive here 45-degree angle. What is the meaning of this 45-degree angle? This 45-degree angle shows that aggregate supply is equal to income. Now, what is aggregate demand? Aggregate demand is start from OY axis, because whenever our income is 0, we have to consume some amount. We have to consume some consumption. Aggregate demand is start from here. This is the intercept which is not depend our income. This is the intercept which is not depend our income. After this point, as the income is increased, consumption is also increased in constant proportion. This is aggregate supply. This is aggregate demand, C plus I. After this point, whenever the income is increased, then aggregate demand is increased at constant rate, because consumption is increased at a constant rate. Now this is the equilibrium. This is the equilibrium. Here aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. Now this is a income. This is a income. When aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, this is a income. At this level of income, and this level of income is 400. At this level of income, aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. Before that, aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply. If aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply, then producer will more plan in future, and then income will be increased, and this process will be continue up to when aggregate demand is not equal to aggregate supply. Same is here when aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply. If planned demand is less than planned supply, now unsold stock is left. Here unsold stock is left. So whatever the producer will do, producer will plan less in the future, so that income will be reduced. So up to income level, up to the 400 level of income, aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. This is our first approach, that is the income determination. Where is income determined? At the level of when aggregate demand is equal to the aggregate supply. Same thing, the second approach, saving is equal to investment. Saving is equal to investment means saving is done by the consumer sector and the investment is done by the producer sector. So whenever the saving is, both the person are different. Saving is done by the consumer and investment is done by the producer. So both the factors are different, person are different. Whenever saving and investment both are equal, that is a point of equilibrium. See, at the same level of income, this will be happen. At the same level of income, this will be happen when income is 400. Here saving and investment both are equal. saving and investment both are equal here. We can also express saving and investment using the diagram at here. On OX axis, we have to show the income. On OY axis, we have to show the saving and investment. Here we have to show the saving and investment. Now, saving is negative also, so we are taking the Y axis negative also. Y negative also. Now, investment is a constant. Investment 40, investment is a constant. Investment is a constant. And up to here saving is negative and 0. See this level of income, same level of income we are considering here. At same level of income, saving is equal to investment. Saving is equal to investment means we have to draw this saving, and saving is also a constant increase in constant rate, so that it is a straight line. But it is not necessary, it is always comes in a constant rate. Saving, this is our saving curve and this is our investment curve. Here saving is equal to investment. Here saving is equal to investment. If saving is equal to investment, then same level of income. At the 400, saving is equal to investment. This is our equilibrium. See, before that, saving is less than investment. Saving is less than investment. If saving is less than investment, it means demand is more, because saving is less and he is to purchase more of goods, and whenever he is purchase more of goods, then producer will produce more commodity, and then income will increase, and same process this will be continue up to when saving is equal to investment. And second one, when saving is greater than investment. If saving is greater than investment, it means consumer save more, so that he will be demand of commodities less, and if he will demand of commodity less, then producer will produce less of a commodity, and producer will less of a commodity, he is using the less factor of production. Then income will be reduced. Then income will be reduced. So, student, this is your aggregate demand and aggregate supply approach, and saving and investment approach. At aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply and saving is equal to investment, we can explain with the schedule and the diagram. Okay, this is your topic for today. Next topic we will discuss tomorrow.